Alright, so it's a new week and that means new missions for the Knighthood boss battle, and today I'm gonna show you how to get at least 9,000 points against Akumu on Hell difficulty for week 27, I believe it is. So the missions for this week are clear after using at most 25 skills, clear after dealing 300,000 damage or more with a single attack, attack with a hero with an attribute advantage 5 times and clear without anyone dying. Very easy missions actually, but I'm gonna show you two teams that can beat it. So the first team is the Archangel team and the second team is gonna be the Derieri team. So yeah, let's just get into it and see how it goes. So for the first team here, we got the Archangel team. It's your, usual suspects. You got your light Liz here with HP defense. Everyone is actually running HP defense and they all synergize quite well together. You should know by now what they actually do. If you don't, go watch some of my other videos where I actually explain it a little bit better. But basically through their passives, we will get more basic stats, and the more HP you have at the end, the more points you're also gonna get. Now this team you can actually run on auto. It would actually perform quite well. You should probably get like at least 9k points. Sometimes you get like 12k points, though I've noticed that the bot really doesn't like to use LudoMarg gold card. They much more prefer Tarmiel's buff card rather than LudoMarg's buff card, and they just omit to actually using it. So if you're running it on auto and you notice that there's a gold card, just pause it and, play it yourself. But I mean, we could play on auto here if you want to, but I don't think there's any need for it. So we'll just do this, and we're gonna deal some AoE damage and do one more attack like that. We're gonna try to save some gold buffs with either of the two units here. If you want, you can of course just use this card. With Tarmiel, that should be fine because you will debuff the enemies and you will get some points for actually debuffing them. So that's nice. We're getting a little bit closer with like a gold card with LudoMarg. Now this team does have quite a lot of, HP and stuff like that, so we're not taking that much damage. You will see the other team actually take quite a lot more than this, so it is what it is. So like for the mission where we need to attack with an attribute disadvantage 5 times, that doesn't really matter too much. Like you don't have to think about that one at all. We're just gonna move a card like this. Like the only one you kind of have to think about is the one where you can only use at most 25 skills, but like again, it shouldn't be a problem. We're gonna use this and this. Also, before the boss actually ults, it would be a good idea to cleanse, because I do believe that the ult deals weak point damage or some kind of damage based on like how many buffs you have, or debuffs I mean. So cleanse if you want to, or if you can. That's nice. We can actually get a gold cleanse card here. I do wonder, can we kill it with 2 AoE cards that we have? And that's also gonna give us the, well, not the Sariel buff or ult I mean, unless of course I use this card here as well. I was thinking about merging and then using the card. I guess we'll see here. So the ultimate is a, actually, it's nothing. What is the deal? Is it the Ruin card? Yeah, it might be the Ruin card I was thinking about. Alright, never mind. The cleanse if you want to. He's not gonna use the Ruin card just yet, so it doesn't really matter. Like I can get my ultimate there if I want to, but I can also just straight up kill him here and it should also be fine. So if I do something like this, that should totally be fine to kill like the little side mob first and then kill the boss. Though if you keep the side mob alive and you actually kill the boss by, attacking like this, you're gonna get extra points for dealing a lot of damage to the side mob, even though you're not really dealing a lot of damage. That's like one of the glitches with this game. At least we can get a silver buff card here, so we might go for that. I think we might buff up. We are gonna ult with Sariel and then ult with this card as well. So we're not gonna, buff up just yet. We're just gonna kill the left-hand side mob because he's gonna taunt up and, reduce the damage we deal to the boss or the, well, yeah, the other arm as well. Here though, we're dealing over 250k damage. The better thing to do is like ult with Tarmiel and then ult with Liz or something, because you'll hit both mobs and you'll get like the 80 points per mob hit as well. So I'm just gonna do this because of her passive. Like the more buffs you actually use, the more basic stats you're gonna get as well. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna do some chip damage. I don't know how far along with Sariel's passive I am, or his Holy Relic passive. So one more stack and it's gonna come from this Sever card here. I go for Liz ult as well. Might as well just do this, and we do some chip damage with Tarmiel as well. Maybe we can get a Tarmiel buff card, though unfortunately now I'm gonna clog up my hand with 2 ultimates. Only one of them will I perhaps even use, so... Oh, maybe none. That's unfortunate, I have to say. So the points, 13k. Quite easy. I would have gotten more if I had Tarmiel's buff up. I would have gotten more if I like ulted the boss to deal some, to deal some overkill damage. That is, yeah, this one right here. Additional points proportional to greater damage dealt against enemy. I hardly got anything. So like if you ult the boss, and you will see that with the next team as well, you will get quite a lot more points there. But 13.2k, very easy. Like I even scuffed it up. I didn't have like the full buffs up or anything. I didn't have LudoMarg's passive maxed out. I think I had Tarmiel's passive maxed out and I had Liz's passive maxed out. But yeah, I was still still missing like what, 3 times 8% basic stats, so that is quite a lot. But we'll move on to the next team here, and this team, we're actually gonna use this. Now, Kizuna can be replaced with red goddesses if you have her. This Gowther, I think, is better, but you can use the festival Gowther if you want to. King is kind of needed, and Derieri, of course, is needed. So basically, we're gonna run Derieri with attack crit. As you can see, I have terrible gear for her, so don't look at this. I'm just using her for this boss, and I'm not even pushing it as high as I can go, you know. Otherwise, I would have just made proper gear for her, but it's attack crit, so it is what it is. We're just gonna use her for her ult, as well as her like passive and this buff card here. So we're gonna get the 50% basic stats. We're gonna keep using her cards, because anytime you use a card, you're gonna get a buff, and she has a amplify ultimate, so she will deal a lot of damage. That is the tactic there. King, we are gonna use him for his, well, shield ability. So, and if you do have his holy relic, it's also gonna increase your basic stats, so that's nice. He's gonna increase our attack related stats by 30%. She's also gonna increase all our other units basic stats by up to 30%, and she can also cleanse, so that's really nice, and rank up her own cards. And Gowther here, he is going to give us 7 times 5% attack related stats, which is really nice as well, because all our allies are of different races, so that is why we're gonna use him. So by turn 5 we will have the full, you know, attack related stat increase there. This one isn't gonna work at all, but we will use him for his rank ups as well as his pumpkin bombs, because that's gonna come in handy so that the boss doesn't ult and just straight up kills one of our units. This team isn't as like tanky as the Archangel team, of course, so some of our units might die from an ult. Yeah, we're just gonna eat crit chance food actually, because Derieri has terrible crit chance, so just increasing it by 20% might actually help us out. A lot of the times though, it's not gonna help us out. Like, she's not gonna hit the crit, and she's gonna miss quite easily because her crit chance is absolute garbage. Like, just look at that. It's like, does she have any gear or any cosmetic pieces that give her crit chance? This one gives 1%, this one gives 1%, this one gives another 1%. This one gives crit damage, crit damage, crit damage, crit chance 2%. Yeah, that's 2% more. Like, if you just want to go for the crit chance, maybe that's worth it. If you have these cosmetics, I'm not gonna buy them. There's no way. But if you have it, then just go for it. Also, I forgot to look at the gear of the other units here, but King is running attack crit, Kizuna is running borrowed HP defense gear because I don't have a gear set for Kizuna, and Gowther is running HP defense. I'm running the card set auto set to HP, same with the other team that I ran, and also crit chance food, of course. So alright, so one thing you have to understand about this team is it's very RNG dependent. Like, it's RNG dependent on that you need to get the proper cards on the first phase, you need to get the proper cards on the second phase, and you also need to be able to crit with Derieri, which you can only do if you have like all the attack related stats buffs and the crit chance food, which it never really crits. Here, as you can see, the boss is going to use 3 attack cards. Now, anytime he attacks on phase 1, he's going to remove your buffs. Anytime he attacks on phase 2, he's going to remove your ult gauge orb. So you do want to get a super beefy shield with King on the second phase, which you will get if you actually ult with him. So we're gonna try to get his ult. Actually, I'm not gonna attack with that card. I'm gonna attack with this card and then a King card. And we're gonna attack with the Derieri swipe on the right hand side mob, and we're gonna use the pumpkin bomb just to hopefully get some more King cards, hopefully get some more Derieri cards, and maybe even another pumpkin bomb, because we want to prevent the boss from actually ulting us. Now, the ulting us isn't the worst thing either. Like, we can survive that. Perhaps if I get like a gold buff here and he ults me, that's not gonna like deal too much damage. But as you can see, he cancels our buffs here with these attacks, and he will always do that. However, he will actually ult first and then cancel stance, so, or cancel buffs, I mean. So you can like buff up and then get ulted by him and, you know, be able to survive. But we want to be able to remove these as well. So what I will do is I'm gonna do this. We're gonna pumpkin bomb the boss. I will actually attack once with King, and we move a Derieri card now. What I want now is more Derieri cards and another Gowther rank up card. So either like one of these cards that I can merge, I think that might be even better, or safer actually, to be able to get Derieri her ult on the second phase. Now, on the first phase, when you actually transition, you want to be able to get King's ult. Here, unfortunately, we didn't get another rank up or a Derieri card. But you want to be able to transition with King, and by King having his ult. Here, I think the boss might actually use Ruin. Yeah, he's gonna use Ruin. Hopefully doesn't do it on Derieri, because I won't be able to cleanse. Instead, what I'll do is I'm just gonna attack like that. We're gonna move a card with Kizuna, and we're gonna move a card with Derieri, and then another card. I don't actually have to move another card with Derieri. I think I'm just gonna rank up Derieri's card. There we go. I could have used this card though, now that I think about it, because he is gonna use the Ruin card perhaps on Derieri, or he does it on everyone, I'm not sure. It might deal a lot of damage. So this is the Ruin card. Yeah, it did quite a lot of damage there, and it removes the debuffs as well. But now we're gonna get King his ult, and we are gonna be able to get at least one of these gold cards as well. I think what I'm gonna do is this, and I will just rank up Derieri. So unfortunately we didn't get any Derieri cards, because what you want to do is you actually want to use your, or at least like 1 or 2 Derieri cards this turn, so you get like 2 buffs. Then next turn you want to use 1 or 2 cards, and then by the time you actually ult, you want to use 1 or 2 cards and then ult to get like 6+ you know, buffs with Derieri. That's gonna be 60% attack. Here unfortunately we're not getting any Derieri cards. It's super bad here. I don't like it, but it is what it is. And I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna do this and move cards to get Derieri salt, because I want to use this on the turn I'm actually gonna like use it, because her evasion buff only lasts for 1 turn, so we kind of have to do it that way. I don't think this is gonna be anywhere near like 13k score, unless of course Derieri crits. Like if she crits, it doesn't matter how scuffed the run is, it's still gonna be a lot of score. So what I might do is might just do this and then that, just do some chip damage, give myself a shield because I do have King's Holy Relic. That's gonna be 50% additional basic stats. We're gonna do some more chip damage so that the overkill damage is greater, and then hope to actually kill the boss. Or crit the boss, which we did. 4,290,000 damage. And the score? 13 million. Or 13,000 million. But as you saw, that was a scuffed run. Like on the phase you actually transition into the next phase, you actually want to use the Derieri cards to sort of start building up her passive stacks, right? So when you actually transition from phase 1 to phase 2, you want to do that. On phase 2, as you saw, he has this card here that he uses every turn, and if he actually uses this card, it's going to deplete your ult gauge orb. So that is why you want to have a beefy King shield. You want to have King's ult as you actually transition into the phase, so that you can ult with him turn 1 on the second phase. In phase 1, you can actually keep track of like if the boss is going to use this card, or sometimes he just uses like a bunch of these cards, right? He uses 4 of these cards or 3 of these cards and the taunt or whatever on the turn before you actually want to transition, and he's not using any of these cards. If that is the case, then you can start using Derieri cards early. That is sort of the optimal run, but that is also very, very RNG dependent on like what the boss is gonna do. But you don't really have to worry about that. As you saw, both teams can quite easily get 13k score, so just know that you kind of want to keep track of like what cards the boss is using. If he's using this card, then you don't want to like start building up Derieri passive, unless it's on the phase that you actually want to transition into the next phase with. So he doesn't actually use this card because he will die and transition into the second phase. But yeah, I think with that's the guide for these two teams. Let me know how it went for you. So yeah, I'm not really gonna push like top percentage or whatever on hell difficulty. Like I see many people getting much higher score. Like of course, if you have a 6-6 behind, you can probably run this team as well as a third team you can run. Of course, with this team, like I said, if you don't have Kizuna, you can run this Liz. It might actually be better because this Liz also gives you basic stats, so up to 10% basic stats plus whatever Kizuna does, and then you can like get this card to gold and get the basic stats that way. Not quite as many like basic stats anyway. You still want to get this card to gold, which is where you're gonna get most of your damage from anyway as well. Plus all different buffs that you can get on her. This team, I'm not sure, like you might need the 6-6 bound just for the extra damage to debuff the enemies. I'm pretty sure you cannot buff the boss, so I don't know if this team actually works. Some other teams also include, instead of Kizuna, you can run this mono here, because you're gonna increase your crit chance and crit damage here, which is quite nice, but you won't increase your like attack related stats, unfortunately. So take that how you will. The attack related stats also increase your crit damage, but not as much as this one does, and it doesn't increase your crit chance as much as this one does. So this might actually be optimal if you can get it to gold as well. But the Archangels, of course, you can use Mile here as well and just deal a bunch of damage. You don't even need to ult with them or whatever. There's plenty of teams. Just look through like the top 100 here and see sort of what teams kind of work, kind of don't work. Don't look at like the top scoring teams. Oftentimes they can be quite deceiving and not actual teams. I don't think anyone actually used an SSR non-leveled up Kizuna. She will just get completely wrecked, so there's no way anyone used that team for real. That mobile are gonna crack down on the cheaters anyway. But yeah, I think with that's gonna be it for me. Hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a most wonderful rest of your day, and I guess I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.